Welcome to Shri Pad Baba VMST lecture series on Shri Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. Today our focus is going to be upon values range 19 to 27 as the formulation Vishv is accepting TCV value 19 and the trans along the artifices of this formulation takes us to value 27. The formulation Vishv as such is a composition of 5 letters, and these 5 letters lead us to value TCV values 72271, making it a value 19. The trans along the artifices, vowels, dimensional frames of this formulation takes us to value 2, 0 and minus 2 as a product value 0, 1, minus 1 and minus 3 as product value 3, making it value 21 here and 6 here, while here the value product value comes to be 0. The total trans value as such comes to be 27. Sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel to the flow of the organization from verse 1 to verse 107, which are preserving the 1000 self-referral designations, 6-space formulations as the names of Lord Vishnu, making a scripture Shri Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. The value of the Vedic systems is, the basic feature of Vedic systems is the organization mathematics of the Vedic scriptures is the first formulation shall become the source formulation. Here the first formulation is Vishv, and this formulation as such as a source formulation will unfold the entire range of the scripture. The formulation Vishv we know is availing 5 letters, and of these 5 letters there are 3 consonants and 2 vowels. The vowels as swaras, as dimensional frames, permit transcendence. We have to reach up till the dimension of dimension, so the value 0. Here they reach up till dimension to value 3. As such, the flow of the consonants through vowels makes ultimately the value 27, and value 27 is of the organization 3 raised to power 3. Therefore, the attainment of the Vishva here is that 3 space, which is accepting a 3-dimensional frame of triple linear dimensions, will lead to 1 space is leading to 3 space. Therefore, this format of 3-dimensional frame will become a format of a solid dimensions frame. This solid dimensions frame, when is to be approached for its manifestation within creators of space, means a 4 space, and 4 space itself being of a spatial order, and 5 space being the origin of a 4 space. Therefore, there happens a transcendental phenomenon, a Visport explosion, and it is this Visport and explosion which splits a solid dimensional frame of triple dimensions into a pair of solid dimensions of half solid dimensions. It is this feature of the split of a three-dimensional frame into a pair of three-dimensional frames of half dimensions. Therefore, the value 3 is to the power 3. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. Once we will be face to face these features of a reach along the formulation wish from value 19 to value 27, and further when we know that value 19 is the value of the southern hemisphere. Therefore, the three-dimensional frame making a sphere, a solar universe. This solar universe as such becomes a pair of hemispheres. It is this split of solar universe Brahmand into a pair of domains, the southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere. Therefore, our wish is to be approached, to be reached at, to be taking it to be, making it the existence phenomenon format. Then we will see how that 3 space, which essentially is of 7 geometries range. There are 7 versions of a cube, and further we know that 3 space is accepting 4 space as origin, because 1, 2, 3 and 4 is the quadruple manifestation layer of a 3 space hypercube 3, cube being the representative regular body of a 3 space, and 4 space is going to be the origin of 3 space. As such, the pair of Mahabhut, Prithvi and Apa. This Prithvi is of TC value 25 and Apa is of TC value 8, making it a total value 33. It is this value 33 which is parallel to a split of a three-dimensional frame into a pair of three-dimensional frames. One shall have a pause here and one shall revisit the value 25 as 5 square and value 8 is equal to 2 cube. These features together deserves to be comprehended to appreciate as to how the Prithvi and Apa are the linear dimensional domain with the spatial dimensional origin. Reach from Prithvi to Apa is a reach from 3 space domain to 4 space as an origin. It is this reach, it is this transition, it is this compactified set of the formats which will take us from 3 space to a 4 space. 4 space we know is of a quadruple manifestation layer leading to value 14. Further we know the 2 space is playing the role of dimension, 3 space as boundary, 4 space as a domain, and 5 space is going to play as a origin. And 4 space is a spatial order space, while 5 space is a solid order space. The value Agni, formulation Agni, is of TC value 14. Value 14 accepts an organization 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well, as that we are having here the 14 equal to the value of hypercube 4, and further we know that hypercube 4 is having 5 space in the role of an origin. It is here where when we will see that reach from 2 space as dimension of 4 space to 3 space as dimension of 5 space, then we will be here correspondingly will be reaching at value 47, and value 47 is the value which deserves to be revisited as of 2, 5, 11, 23 and 47. 2, is a prime, 5 is a prime, 11 is a prime, 23 is a prime, 47 also is a prime. 2 space is having 5 geometries range, 5 space is having 11 geometries range, 11 space is having 23 geometries range, and 23 space is having 47 geometries range. It is in the 5th step that we are reaching at value 47. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well when we will be having a simultaneous chase of water and the fire, Apa and Agni, second and third Mahbub. And this will be a phenomenon, a format which is the format of a 4 space. And 4 space we know is a spatial order space. In the spatial order space, solid order is playing the role of an origin. Therefore, this will lead to a transition from 4 space to a 5 space, and this transition is going to be from Agni to a Vayu. Agni is of TC value 14, while Vayu is of TC value 13. We will have a pause here and see that the 14 points range is having 13 gaps. It is this 14 points leading to 13 as a gaps. Further, we know that value 13 is equal to 4, 5 and 4. That means 5 space as an origin is transcending out of a 4 space origin. Still further, we know that summation value up till Vayu comes to be 60, and 60 we know is equal to the coordinates of the transcendental boundary of 12 components of 6 space. It is here where we have to be very conscious, as that sequentially we are reaching at a 6 space. Therefore, from Vayu to Akash, it will be a reach, will be taking us to value again 13 to 8, and 13 is 4 plus 5, 4, 5 plus 4, while 8 is equal to 3 plus 5, and it is this way also that 4 plus 4 is 8, and when the transcendence origin is 60, here the summation value will be reaching at 68, and 68 we know is equal to 34 plus 34, and 34 we know is equal to 7, 8, 9 and 10, which is equal to hypercube 9. As such, Panchmabhut, as pairs, when or being chased, they follow and take us to the pair of the hypercube 9s, means the pair of bodies of 9 space. Step ahead, when we'll reaching at Akash and Surya, then we'll reach at value 81, which is equal to 3 raised to power 4. It amounts to that within 4 space, when there is going to be a transcendence of a solid order, means a 3 space in the role of a dimension, and when it is acquiring the format of a spatial dimensional frame, quadruple dimensions, that gives us to value 81, and ahead ultimately we reach at value 10 square. A wonderful achievement is there. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to reach at sequentially from verse 1 to verse 107, the total verses which are preserving 1000 self-referral designations, 6 space formulations of the scripture, Shri Shri Vishnu Shastram Stotram, then one shall sequentially visit their values range 19 to 27. Value 19 gives us an organization 2 into 9 plus 1. That means it is equal to the geometry's range of hypercube of 9 space, or there are 19 versions of hypercube 9. See, we had along the Panchmabhut sequentially reached at the H9, and it is this value of H9 which is giving us 19 versions. Value 20 we know is equal to summation value of the pair of transcendence ranges of 0 order. Therefore, a reach from value 19 to value 20 is a reach from 19 versions of hypercube 9 to the synthesis of the pair of transcendence ranges. A step ahead, value 21 takes us to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is parallel to the format of a Sthapatya miring rod, a synthetic setup of hypercubes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, which are capable of potentialities fulfilled range, which is having a swap for hypercube 6. Value 22 is the value of the quadruple manifestation layer of hypercube 6. 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 makes 22. Value 23 is of the formation 3 plus 5 plus 3 into 5, which is equal to superimposition of the dimension and domain of the transcendental domain 5 space, and this value 23 we know is the TC value of the formulation Anant, as well as it is of the TC value Sahastra. These are the features which sequentially deserve to be comprehended. When we see that these 5 steps as these are making a transcendence range, and this transcendence range is in respect of hypercube 21, and hypercube 21 value is taking us to its Sthapatya miring rod. Step ahead, value 24 is equal to 4 into 6, which is parallel to the dimensional frame of 6 space. Value 25 is the value of the formulation Vishnu, and further it is the value of a 5 square, and still further it is taking us to 5 cross 5 grid. It is this grid which is the reach of the Vedic systems, and then it is along this 5 cross 5 grid that we will be having a bend for this values range from 19, 23 and 27. It is this bend and it is this reach of 5 cross 5 grid which is going to be the ultimate format of the Vedic systems, along which the Vedic mathematics is having a chase for the organization of Vedic knowledge. Value 26 is accepts 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. It is equal to the value of a hypercube 7. So from hypercube 6 we are reaching at hypercube 7, and ultimately value 27 is equal to 3 raised by 3, which amounts to a split for a 3-dimensional frame into a pair of 3-dimensional frames, and further as this split is going to be within a creator space, 4 space, a spatial order space, as such 5 space as the origin will making it a solid dimensional frame. So the manifestation as a solid dimensional frame of half dimensions is the ultimate feature of the Vedic systems and of Vedic mathematics. Students, sadhakas, fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel to the Vedic systems or the Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences and Vedic technologies shall revisit the format of a Devanagari alphabet. We know Devanagari alphabet is leading us to 9 vowels, and these 9 vowels will lead us to values range 1 to 19. We know that value 1 to 19, and when we are having a range of a transcendence of 5 steps, then it is here when we'll be at hypercube 5, it will be 3, 4, 5 and 6, which will be leading us to value 18. As such, this transcendence ranges, the transcendence along the dimensional frames, along the vowels, will be taking to value 18 at each step, and this reach of value 18 into 9 will lead to value 162, which is equal to plus 81, and value 81 is equal to value 3 raised to power 4. It is this reach where we have to be ultimately satisfied for a chase of the existence phenomenon of solar universe. At the next step, there are 5 cross 5 Varga consonants, and these 5 cross 5 Varga consonants, when are to be taken along the values range 19. So when we southern hemisphere is to be chased along this grid, then it will be taking us to 5 cross 5 grid of values 19 to 27. It is this reach of 5 cross 5 grid have 5 transcendence ranges as 5 columns, as well as the transcendence ranges as rows. These 5 rows and 5 columns setup of 5 cross 5 Varga consonants format of Devanagari alphabet deserves to be chased, and it is this chase which along the first transcendence range will take to value 105, which is equal to 5 into 21. That means along the Sthapatya ring rod there is going to be a transcendental flow. So value 5, so 5 space content Akash Tattva is going to have a flow along the Sthapatya ring rod, and the last this column value 125 is equal to 5 cube, and it is this reach which is going to be the reach for the split of a 3-dimensional frame into 8 octants split for 3 space, and cube will split into 8 subcubes, and these 8 subcubes synthesis will be, we know, of value 27 and 18 and 12, then again 18 and 12, and then it is going to 12 plus 8, making it a summation value 125. It is here where this organization is ultimately leading us to our started position of a Vishwa as a 3-space setup, which ultimately is taking us to Akash Tattva with Surya as its origin. The third phase of the organization of Devanagari alphabet is of Anthastha letters, and these values will lead us to value 19, 21, 23 and 25 for the southern hemisphere of value 19. The fourth phase is of Ushmana letters, and this with value 19 star beginning will lead us to value 19, 20, 23 and 26. Ultimately, the fifth phase of Devanagari alphabet is of Yama letters, which will take us from value 19 to value 26. These values of the southern hemisphere chase along the Devanagari alphabet is the ultimate chase format of the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. Sadhkas fulfilled with intensity of worship to be parallel to the organization format of Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram shall sit comfortably and revisit the formulation Vishnu and reach from its transcendental code value 19 to its the 5-space content flow along the artifices, vowels, dimensional frames of this formulation and reach at value 27. It is this reach which ultimately is going to be the reach for the southern hemisphere. Reach for the southern hemisphere and to have 27 nakshatras. One may have a pause here and take note that the formulation Bharat is having TC value 19. Therefore, the Bharat, India, as the origin of the preserver of the Vedic knowledge. So India is the land of Vedas. The entire organization of the Vedic knowledge is parallel to the existence phenomenon within our solar universe along the India as the Bharat, as and how, in which way, in which steps, Kal Vidhi Vidhan is to be lived within India is of the format of the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram. Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram is the life conduct format, and this life conduct format is parallel to the constitution of the universe, as is the Sakla Rigved Samhita. Sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to imbibe the values, features and format of the Vedic systems, they have to go parallel to the Vedic mathematics of the Ganita Sutras. Therefore, one shall begin with Devanagari alphabet and reach back at the Devanagari alphabet itself. Devanagari alphabet is going to be the beginning as well as the end reach of the Vedic systems. Likewise, Ganita Sutras are going to be the beginning as well as the end reach of the Vedic systems. So, Vedic knowledge is organized in such a way that beginning and end are at the same ment. The starting point becomes the end reach point. It is because the linear organization format is being approached for the transformation of the diameter into a circumference. So line transiting and transforming of the format of the circumference of a circle. It is a transition from the linear order setup to a spatial order setup. That is why the Panch Mahabhut are to be approached in pairs. Prithvi and Apa are to be approached simultaneously. Then Apa and Agni, Agni and Vayu, Vayu and Akash, Akash and Surya, Surya and Dhruv. These chase steps in pairs is there as the existence phenomenon is being chased by Vedic systems in a creator's space, which is a spatial order space. Therefore, the starting point and the end reach point for the chase of Vedic systems for the creative existence phenomenon is going to be the creator's space, force space, a spatial order space. As the solid order origin is of the spatial order space, therefore the spatial order amounts to a split. There happens to be a visport, there happens to be an explosion because of the solid order, and as a result of this explosion, this visport, the solid order 3 space as such splits into a pair of 3 spaces. 3-dimensional frame splits into a pair of 3-dimensional frames. It is this split of a dimensional frame, it is this split of the domain itself. Therefore, simultaneous split and synthesis is the pair of features with whose comprehension it will be possible to have a smooth chase of the existence phenomenon as a transcendental flow along the format of a Sthapatya miring rod. Let us sit comfortably. Let us revisit all these features and values. One shall begin with 3 space and then sequentially reach at 4 space, 5 space and at 6 space. Thereafter only one is to be in a unity state. Therefore, for to be in a unity state, we have to chase beginning with the formulation Vishwa, and the formulation Vishwa will from its manifested Devanagari alphabet letters composition, which will lead to the transcendental value 19 and the trans of 5 space content along the artifices, vowels, dimensional frames will lead to value 27. As such, sadhakas fulfilled with intensity efforts to be parallel with the organization format of Vishnu Shastranam Stotram shall begin with the formulation wish and chase this organization along the format of values range 19 to 27. Values 19 to 27 deserve to be chased individually, then in pairs, then as triples, then as quadruples, and ultimately as pair of transcendence ranges 5 to 23 and 23 to 27, which will transit and transform into 5 cross 5 grid, which will take us to the 5 cross 5 Varga consonants of a Devanagari alphabet format. Once we are at 5 cross 5 Varga consonants, then we are at a transcendental plane Varga 2 space in the role of the dimension of a 6 space. Further, 2 space is accepting 5 geometries range. 5 space is having 6 space as its origin. These features will simultaneously come into play, and these will help us to be face to face with and to acquire and to attain the enlightenment of the bliss of the organization format of Vishnu Shastranam Stotram. With it, we are concluding this phase of the lecture series upon the organization format of Shri Vishnu Shastranam Stotram. Henceforth, we shall be taking up the aspect of the compatibility of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras, that is Vedic mathematics and Vedic systems. In some circles, with some scholars, there is a lingering doubt as to whether the mathematics of Ganita Sutras is associated the proper designation of a Vedic mathematics, Vedic Ganita Sutras or not. With all humbleness, with all sincerity, it is being pointed that let us be through the mathematics of Ganita Sutras and the format features and values of the Vedic systems, and let us see and let us have the bliss of the compatibility of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras and of the Vedic systems. Thank you very much.